Welcome to today's edition of Star Media and the Conversation. We're coming to you from the Star Media Studios in downtown Luverne. I'm sure you saw the sponsors of our program that scrolled across the screen, and this week's featured sponsor is Sunshine Foods. I would encourage you to turn into their weekly commercial, A Little Sunshine for Your Day, hosted by Crystal. You can watch that on the Star Media, the Star Herald, and Sunshine Food Facebook page. And tomorrow is the last 2 days of the current deals of the week. And my favorite of all the deals going on right now is the bone-in Boston pork roast for only $1.79 per pound. And that is no April Fool's joke. And also no April Fool's joke is it's my understanding that the sweet corn, seasonal sweet corn has arrived at the store. And also they got a heck of a deal going on roses. So check out Sunshine Foods for all your food and other needs. And be sure to tune in to A Little Sunshine for Your Day. And I'm joined again by Kenzi Klein, the Executive Director of the Luverne Area Chamber of Commerce. And we're going to bring you this week's edition of the Chamber Chatter. Welcome.
Thank you.
So been busy again this week, I would imagine?
Very busy this week. Things are kicking up for the summer.
Okay, yeah, they are. And tell me a little bit about, to wrap up some of the things that happened last week with the Lift Banquet. Tell us how well that went and what you thought of that.
Yeah, our Lift Gala went really well this past Friday. We had 150 people attend, which was a great number. It's good to see people out and about. Lift stands for Luverne's Initiatives for Tomorrow. So it's new projects, new events, new up-and-coming things coming to Luverne, and it gives the community a chance to see what's going on and ask questions and be more informed. Some of the things they touched base on was the Highway 75 project. A lot of people are anxious to know how that's going to go. We are slotted for April of 2026 through finishing completely April of 2027.
And other topics that were discussed that were presented Friday, last week?
Yeah, we talked about the Rock River Water Trail.
Well, tell me about that.
And that is our new thing we've been working on. It's been working on for about 10 years now. Since 2015, this project has been going on. The community had wanted a safe place for people to park their cars and enter in on the river, on the Rock River. The city stepped up right away and they created a exit dock kind of by the bridge, and conveniently stops by Take 16 Brewery and Main Street.
Oh, how nice! Yes.
Once you're
Time
done,
to rehydrate after being in the water.
Yes. But so the entrance now is by Ruddy's Bridge, kind of by the state park.
Okay.
That trail will take, depending on river flow, or if you're paddling or not, but average about 5 hours to get from there down to to the entrance by Take 16. Yeah, we're actually the first county in southwest Minnesota to have an official water trail with the state.
Okay.
So that's super exciting.
So what does that mean? Is it just a tag that we got, or is there something that goes along with being the first official water trail?
It's kind of a tag, but we also get added to the map of water trails in Minnesota. Okay. And that has been something that we've noticed. People coming to Luverne want something more outdoor recreation to do. And that is a huge step for us to be able to offer some outdoor recreation that's safe.
Cool. That sounds interesting. And so that's basically canoeing, kayaking, tubing, maybe even?
Maybe. It depends on the river. The Rock River is, questionable sometimes of the year about river height and water flow and
speed. Yeah.
And speed. I'm sure you could.
Okay. Cool.
I think right now it's mostly for kayaking and canoeing.
All right.
So we will be having a Ride the Rock event on June 21st.
Ride the Rock event?
Ride the Rock on the Rock River Water Trail.
So you're not going to actually ride on a rock because that wouldn't float very well, I don't imagine, right? Okay.
No, Ride the Rock on June 21st. For more information, that'll come up soon. It'll be on our website and in our chamber chatter, and I'll probably mention it again here.
Okay, great.
Yeah, it should be a really fun summer.
Maybe we can do a remote one sometime over the summer. We'll actually get out there on that thing and float down that river. Not 5 hours long, though.
No.
Okay. Right.
No, and then the next thing we touch base on is the first ever Nutcracker Fest.
Okay.
And so this is going to be a 4-day conjunction on an already popular weekend of Hot Dog Night.
Sure.
So on July 9th, that Wednesday, Take 16 will be releasing their beer Wooden Warrior.
Okay.
And that will be a release party at 5:30 that night. And the first 50 beers that are sold are free. So get there early to try it. It should be really fun.
So I can show up on Tuesday? Would that be early enough?
No, that's
it's
too
gotta be
early.
Okay.
Wednesday at 5:30.
Okay.
Then that Thursday is hot dog night, and it's the 63rd annual. That should be the same. Nothing's changing with that. We're just trying to build upon an already exciting weekend. And then that Friday is where the Nutcracker base race will take place. So our lovely team of the Redbirds have graciously offered to become the Nutcrackers for one night only.
Okay.
They will have new jerseys. It'll be a Nutcracker base race. The game is at 5:30 p.m., which is different than their 7:30 p.m. usual time. But this allows for the street dance to take place at 8, right down at Redbird Field. It'll be 10 miles from nowhere. That event is free to attend.
Okay, so 10 miles from nowhere will be on site, not 10 miles from nowhere.
Correct.
I
Correct.
gotcha.
The band
Okay.
is 10 miles from nowhere, and they're
Okay.
at top.
Now let's talk about that Nutcracker race. So there'll actually be Nutcrackers running the bases?
They got new jerseys. They will be the
Okay.
Nutcrackers.
I gotcha.
Their jerseys do say the Nutcracker. There's a nice logo on the sleeve.
Okay.
It's supposed to get people out and about and have more events towards the weekend.
And who is the chair of that event?
The chair of the entire event,
Oh, yeah, the Nutcracker.
the Nutcracker
Fest.
Fest committee.
You? Oh, okay, okay. So you'll be busy that weekend.
We'll be
as well.
busy that weekend.
Okay.
Yes, there's also
Now back to Take 16, and the release of the beer is called the Wooden Warrior.
the Wooden Warrior.
Is that taken from the wooden Nutcracker that will be dressed in Uncle Sam kind of deal, or has it got anything to do with that?
It does. Yep.
Okay,
It is in correlation.
And hopefully that will be revealed then as well.
Yes, that next day. So that Saturday.
Oh, okay.
Keeping on with the event, that Saturday there will be a Nutcracker half marathon. There's more information for that coming, and the largest Nutcracker will be revealed on
Cool.
that Saturday.
Oh, wow, that'd be awesome. That
Yes.
would be just awesome. So it was mentioned that there's 5 different class reunions that weekend as well.
Yes,
Wow.
yep. We sent out the information of all these events going on,
Okay.
and people jumped at the idea. It was a good weekend to come home. So
Oh,
there are
super.
4, possibly 5 school reunions that weekend.
Okay.
Yeah, and that kind of is what we touch base on with the Lift Gala for
Sure.
new and upcoming things. Moving forward from that, there's the spring cleanup, April 21st through the 25th. You have to wait 1 week prior to those to set items on your curbside. So Monday, April 21st will be Main Street and South. Tuesday, April 2nd will be Main Street to Dodge Street. Wednesday, April 23rd will be Dodge Street to Bark Ave. And Thursday, April 24th will be Bark Ave and North. And Friday, April 25th will be appliance and mattress pickup.
Okay.
And you do need to register that at the city. The appliances are $15 each. And mattresses or box springs will be $30 each. So you have to register and pay at the city office before Friday to get those picked up.
Cool. The annual spring cleanup is one of the greatest perks that citizens of Luverne get to take advantage of, and it helps keep our sheds and our garages and our storage sheds empty and clean. So that's a great opportunity.
And it's fun to go around, junk days.
Yes, it is. It brings a lot of traffic to town, actually.
Yes.
Yes, it does.
Yes, and following that will be the spring rummage sale. So that would be April 21st is the last day to register for that. But the garage sales will be the 30th through the 3rd of May.
All right.
So
This town is rummage sale crazy as well.
yes, we're rummage sale crazy. One man's trash is another man's treasure, as they say. Yeah. And following that, so April 16th, I mentioned last week, is that lunch and learn for the introduction to workplace wellness and collaboration.
Okay.
That one, they want you to RSVP by noon on the 2nd, April 2nd. More information on that event is on our website.
Sure.
So to RSVP and to learn more, go to our website.
The chamber website address.
Is LuverneChamber.com.
Okay, pretty simple.
Pretty
simple.
straightforward.
Yep. Okay.
Yep. And then another new event we have coming up in May, and I mentioned last week, is the Love the Flowers Mother's Day Flower Walk. And we have 23 businesses participating in this.
Okay.
The poster was posted last week. Hopefully again right now as I'm talking. It should be a lot of fun. We picked out the bouquets, so it's a ton of spring flowers, different colors. You can mix and match how you want. If you want them all yellow flowers and white, they're there. If you want pinks and purples and oranges.
So they go to each of these businesses and get a flower, and then
Yep.
they can make their bouquet once they make their rounds through the business. Is that how that works?
Yes. So what? Each business will be open from 10 to 2, except for one. Wildflower will be open their normal hour times, so they're 10 to noon or morning to noon. And you'll go in, you get one flower at each location. There's filler at each location as well, so you can create your bouquet as big or as little as you want.
Cool. That's interesting. I'm not a mother, but I takes care of my Mother's Day gift opportunity, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Send the wife down there.
Send the wife down. Send the
All right.
mom down. Give her a
Good.
day off.
All right. Well, hey, you guys have a full docket of things going on. Holy cow! And in addition to that, has the Brandenburg Gallery open as every day of the week too. Is that correct?
Yes, the Brandenburg Gallery is open every day from 10 to 5, or 8 to 5 and 10 to 5 on Saturday.
But not Sunday.
Not Sunday.
Okay. All right. And then now is it time for the Military Minute?
It is time for the Military Minute.
Go right ahead.
Sounds good. So for the second Military Minute, we'll pick up where we left off. The last I mentioned was that the National Guard was one of the oldest continuous institutions in the city. So several of the founders of Luverne were veterans of the many state militias pressed into duty during the Civil War. The first company, F 3rd Minnesota Regiment, that was formed on March 10, 1886, under the command of Captain W.H. Halbert and the First Lieutenant P.E. Brown, with 26 names on their muster roll. Between 1886 and the start of the Spanish-American War, the Luverne militia was reorganized on 3 different occasions. So Captain Halbert was the 10th of March, 1886, with Company F, 3rd Minnesota Regiment, and Captain L.S. Nelson was the 10th of June, 1889, with Company G with the 15th Regiment, and Captain Andrew Anderson was the 3rd October, 1918, of Company H, 5th Regiment. So enlistment for the National Guard was a 5-year period with an annual allowance of $7. Annual training consisted of 7 days, and pay for enlisted man was $1.50 per day. 50 cents a day was deducted for sustenance if it wasn't furnished by the state, and 70% of the cost of the units were borne by the members, officers, and the community. So
Very interesting. Thank you for that report.
yeah. Oh, and May 14th, 1886, the edition of the Rock County Herald, it was reported that the Luverne Guards, having obtained control of the Rink Opera House, decided at their last meeting to change the name of the structure to Armory Hall, as being more appropriate for the use to which it will be chiefly devoted in the future. So that was the first armory, was the Opera Hall.
Well, that's really good. Thank you very much for
Yeah.
that. And I guess that brings us to the end of the Chamber Chatter. And it's time to pull the pin on this week's conversation. And thanks for joining us, and stay tuned.